Good morning. Or good afternoon. I'm Kenneth Lin. I am the founder and CEO of CreditKarma. This is Nicole Mustard. She is our Vice President of Business Development. So before I start the presentation today, I thought I'd do a quick informal poll. By just a quick show of hands, how many people think that consumer credit is important, especially in today's financial environment? So probably about 80 or 90% of you. So with that said, how many people have actually checked their credit scores within the last 30 days? Fair amount, maybe like 25%. And the last question is, how many people know the impact of actually of applying for a credit card on your actual credit score? So even fewer, maybe like 5 or 10%. So the point of the poll really is to demonstrate that while everyone in the room agrees that consumer credit is important, it also shows that there's limited access in the marketplace, and that a lot of people still don't fundamentally understand how credit scores work. And that's really where CreditKarma comes in. So CreditKarma is a completely free consumer site that addresses these specific issues. On CreditKarma, there are three primary value propositions for our users. We provide free score access to anyone in less than 2 minutes with 20 questions. Everyone in this room could walk out with their free credit score. You can check your credit score anytime you want, and there will never be a fee. The next and second component of the offer is that the site provides educational tools for you to track and improve your credit score. So you can monitor your credit score to see if anyone's stolen your identity, or you can compare your credit score by your age, by your demographics, or any other number of attributes. So we have a good amount of data that kind of helps consumers understand where they stand within the relative credit ranking. So this, for example, is the average credit score by a user's age. We also do fun stuff by taking a look at, based on your email provider, who has the highest score. Surprisingly, Gmail has the highest, and maybe not surprisingly, AOL has maybe the lowest. The third and the final piece of our site is that we provide incentives and special offers based on a user's credit score. So what that means is, generally speaking, the better the score, the better the offer. Now, that traditionally has always happened in financial services, but we think there's an extension that goes outside of this vertical. So think mobile, think satellite television, think insurance. So we believe that there's kind of a karma effect out there with the credit score. So that's a little bit about the background on CreditKarma. So rather than going to all the specifics, I thought I'd talk about a new product that we launched just this weekend. What it is, it's a very pro-consumer tool that we're calling the Personalized Credit Simulator. So our credit simulator will predict how certain financial transactions, like applying for a loan or applying for a credit card, will actually affect your specific credit score. It goes in, it grabs your file, it makes the changes, and it rescores your file. So for the first time, consumers can really see the daily interactions of their life and what they do and the actual effect on that, those effects on that user's credit file. So Nicole's going to walk through a couple of examples of how this works. So this is actually Nicole's credit file, as you can see. So she's currently a 724. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to simulate her applying for a new credit card. She applies for a new credit card at a $25,000 limit, and this actually shows you what your score would be had you done that based on her specific file. So it drops 14 points in this example, but it would probably vary for virtually everyone in this room because it is tuned to your specific credit file. The next example that we're going to walk through is, let's say, for example, you had to make a judgment call as to whether to pay one of your credit cards off 30 days late. So this is something that consumers have to face all the time. So in this particular case, you can actually evaluate what happens if there's a 30-day DROG on your credit file. And in this particular case, API. So in this case, it's at 678. So there's a much more drastic drop on your credit score based on the fact that you have a very negative transaction associated with that credit score. Now, the next thing that we're going to quickly simulate is just length of payment. So credit history is a large component of anybody's credit score. So in this particular case, let's make the assumption that you're going to pay your bills on time for the next 15 months. Let's take a look at how that affects your score. So in that particular case, if she pays her bills on time and doesn't have any negative DROGs, and assuming all else equal, her score would effectively go up by an additional 20 points. I think that belays the fact that it takes months and years to actually build good credit, but it's very easy to destroy your credit by going 30 days late on any particular particular item. So this tool and all of our other tools, the common theme of Credit Karma is that we're extremely pro-consumer. All of our content, all of our access to credit information, all of our tools and calculators are completely free. We encourage users to share their experiences with others, so we have a lot of comments, we have a lot of ratings on each one of the offers, and people really believe in the community aspect of what we're doing. And lastly, and most importantly, in regards to being a pro-consumer service, we have a very strict privacy policy where we never sell or share personal information with any of our advertisers or partners. So that's a little bit about the overview of this particular product. I think in closing, I think what I want to talk a little bit about is even with the current economic conditions, a credit score is probably the most important aspect of a consumer's financial health, and it's become more important than ever. We think consumers have a fundamental right to access their score for free and to really be given a better understanding of how credit scores work in general. So it's our goal to empower consumers through the knowledge and tools needed to make their lives a little bit more easy, particularly in today's environment. So I invite you guys to stop by our booth if you're interested in learning more, and please be sure to visit us on creditkarma.com. Thank you for your time, and thank you for listening.